It had taken almost an entire year for his father to get back on his feet, and that was a little over 2 years ago. Not much had changed since then. Physically, his father was just the shell of the man he'd once been. But that didn't stop the regular onslaught of demeaning insults or homophobic slurs, all designed to remind Keyes of his place, regardless of his success with the shop. Keyes rolled the wheel out, passing the tire off to Louie, his trusty second in charge. He gave clipped instructions to change the tire before he stepped behind the counter to wait on the customer. He pulled his rag from his belt to wipe his hands before palming his cell phone to order the new set. "They'll run a little less than $300 for 2 or 5 for a set of 4. It's a discount of about $100 on the 4, he said while using the app the dealer provided. "And these are good tires? They'll last a while, right? I've had the ones on there since I bought the Tahoe in 2015. The uncertainty in her voice forced Keyes to slow down and take a second to ease her doubt. He adjusted his gaze, looking at her instead of the phone screen. She had to be a foot shorter than his 6'4", and she wore one of those crisp, well-tailored get-ups that business women wore. She looked like one of those independent, pushy types who lived for the next corporate board meeting. Keyes gave an internal sigh, hoping his observations didn't slip out by accident. Women were uncomfortable in his environment. He got it, and he tried to change the approach his employees used with certain customers. He required everyone who worked there to take a moment to explain the sale, be reasonable and clear, and assure the customer they weren't being scammed. That was the hardest part for Keyes. He wasn't much of a talker, in any situation. The fewer words used, the better. "I sell quite a few of these. They're a good price and have an 80,000-mile treadwear warranty. By going through us, after the warranty runs out, we'll patch them for free if you have a problem. All you got to do is call," Keyes explained, using his well-rehearsed speech. That was really all he had by way of a sales pitch. He waited as she chewed on her lipstick-covered lip, wondering if he should again mention the discount they were giving her. Luckily, she finally nodded, giving a small, reassuring smile. "Let's do the 4. Keyes confirmed her decision with a nod of his own. He finished ordering the tires on his phone before pulling up his customer profile application and extending his hand, giving her his phone. "Give me your info and I'll call you when they come in." "Do I bring the car or will you come pick it up?" she asked, taking the phone, her fingers moving over the screen as she entered her data. "Whichever you want. You guys are really easy to work with. I was intimidated when I came in. A woman in my office uses you and referred me. I was nervous, but you made it better. Thank you." The words were everything Keyes wanted to hear. He gave another nod of appreciation when she looked up. He even cracked a smile, something he only reserved for times like these, and her smile grew wider as she stared up at him. "What's your name? That way I can ask for you when I come back." "They call me Key, but I'm always here." "No problem." "That's an unusual name," she said, grinning up at him. The moment got awkward because that was all he had. Keyes shifted his body toward her SUV, extending a hand, afraid he'd have to partake in small talk if she continued to stand there. Luckily, his serviceman was lowering the jack. "You ready?" "Do I pay you for this?" she asked, handing over his phone before fishing through her purse. "Nah, we'll take the tire back when the new ones come in," Keyes said, pivoting back toward her. He'd already turned away, heading to the next waiting car. "Do I pay for the other tires now?" she asked, giving a wave of the credit card in her hand. Damn, she was making this too hard. People always did that. They added layers of complication to very simple tasks. Keyes shook his head and walked back.